Opinionated versus flexible modules. A module becomes opinionated when it fixes more decisions inside the module. That reduces color input surface and makes repeated deployments behave more consistently. A module becomes flexible when it exposes more variables to the caller. That increases reuse across environments, but it also increases the number of combinations the caller can misconfigure. Terraform variables exist to let a module consumer change behavior without editing module source. An opinionated module hardcodes the settings that should not vary often. That removes decision points from the caller and keeps the deployment pattern stable. This works best when the resource shape is already known. A standard parameter path, standard tags, and standard tier prevents drift caused by caller creativity. A flexible module exposes more arguments because the caller may need different behavior across teams or environments. That increases reuse, but it moves more design responsibility to the caller. Terraform supports type variables and optional object attributes. That lets the module author expose controlled variation instead of unrestricted free-form input. Optional object attributes allow the module to accept missing values and apply defaults inside the declared type. An opinionated module places decisions inside the child module. That centralizes policy and makes caller code shorter. A flexible module places decisions in the root module. That makes the child module reusable, but it spreads infrastructure policy across many call sites. The real trade-off is not reuse versus non-reuse. The real trade-off is where configuration entropy is allowed to exist. A flexible module needs explicit constraints. Type checks prevent invalid shapes, but they do not express business rules. Validation blocks stop bad color input before provider operations begin. That prevents invalid naming patterns or unsupported tiers from reaching AWS. Without validation, flexibility becomes silent policy bypass. With validation, flexibility becomes controlled variation. Terraform variable blocks support validation rules because the module interface is the first safe place to reject bad input. A submarine stays alive by deciding which controls sailors may touch during stress. Too many exposed controls increase the chance of a bad action at the worst moment. Modules behave the same way. Every exposed variable is a control surface that someone can set incorrectly during a rush change. The highest real-world risk appears when the team exposes many low-level arguments just to feel reusable. That usually produces inconsistent tagging, naming, encryption behavior, and support patterns across environments. The safest default is to hardcode the decisions that should almost never vary, then expose only the arguments that map to real operational differences. Choose an opinionated module when the resource should follow one operating pattern. That reduces drift and shortens review time. Choose a flexible module when multiple teams truly need different behavior from the same resource shape. That keeps duplication lower, but only if the allowed differences are intentionally bounded. A module is badly designed when it exposes inputs that callers never need or hides inputs that operators must change regularly. Root modules should usually express environment-specific choices. Shared child modules should usually express stable implementation rules.